We're going on a cardboard journey through the glass road and into the Black Forest. Hey, I'm Will. This is Cardboard Minute. It's a board game channel where we like to play board games. A lot of the times it's solo, sometimes we have friends here. We have discussions, again by myself, sometimes with some friends, do some lists, some unboxings, and some other fun stuff. And I just love to share the board games that I found that I enjoy, more or less, or at least the ones that I'm excited to share with you about and talk about, and review them on my channel. So we are going to be doing a full solo playthrough. I will walk you through how the game plays as I'm playing, so you'll get a good feel for how the rules will work. And at the very end, I will do a very comprehensive review of Black Forest. This is designed by Uwe Rosenberg in Title Lorenz, with art by Lucas Siegman, and published by Capstone Games. And this is a kind of pseudo-sequel to Glass Road, which is a much older game by Uwe Rosenberg. I'll only very briefly touch over on the differences, but if you've played before, you'll recognize how some of the tile placement and resource management works. And this game is played through 5 rounds. The solo is a little bit different than the multiplayer. So you should, basically learn how to play by watching. But remember, there are some differences. So make sure you check those before you play. And I'll need to just briefly touch on those. So let's head down and we'll begin. So on first glance, don't be freaked out by the huge number of building tiles here. There's an easy way to understand them, and I'll get back to those when it's time to build. But or I'll cover them right now. And that way, if you are already familiar with this game, but are just having trouble with grokking this mess of boards here, there are 36 different tiles. 10 of them are flipped, or more. We'll discuss that. But the easy way to understand is looking at the resources down the side. So that's the first part. So the resources down the side, it is kind of a, how do I get this thing? Okay, it's I need porridge right now. How do I get porridge? Okay, let's look at the porridge line. There might be some crossover in other places, but how do I get cows? This is how I get cows. Okay. After that, we have the columns. So they don't actually delineate this, but it's there in kind of how it's set up. The first column always has no glass as part of the construction cost. It's mostly just the other materials and occasionally bricks. And then the second column is all a single glass. So if you only have one glass produced, this is where you can go. So you can kind of say, okay, I have this glass, I want cows, I'm looking at these two. And then the last column is 2 glass. So 0, 1, 2. Very simple, and if you think about it in terms of that method, and the specialty buildings are 3 glass. So you think of it in terms of that, you can kind of look at your board and say, okay, I have 1 glass, I want cows, I'm looking at the first 2. Pretty simple, right? Once you get down to it. Don't get too focused in long-term strategy until you really familiarize yourself with that, but you can pretty much just play as you go and maybe aim for some of these bigger ones by the end of the game. So, differences from solo. Normally, I wouldn't have all 5 workers, but you would have just 1. And a little cardboard token that kind of matches, I'll hold up the camera here, that matches your character, just to place on the board so you know who you are. And then you would be taking turns around the table, placing at the start of the game, and then from then on, moving a worker each turn that comes around. Now the difference here in solo is that I have all 5 workers and I place them one after the other. I'm never moving them. And then at the end of each round, I will remove them. I still have to follow all the same placement restrictions for each one, as if my previous placements were like an opponent who was in my way. So we'll go over that in more details. Only restriction, the only difference there is the white worker gets to ignore those restrictions. And specifically, as you see it from the rules here, because it is a weird exception, it is the you pay no resources for pawns already in that village. I don't know why they decided that. Maybe just out of balance. It made sense to save. They don't say it should be your last worker, but it kind of makes sense to keep it as your last worker. Or I guess if you're trying to get in somewhere, you kind of get one workaround. All right, so that's anyways. So like I said, we're getting back to place of workers. So you're gonna place a worker. When you place a worker, you're gonna place it on to one of these circles around the board, or you may have to travel out to one of the quests, which none of them are out yet, and we'll cover those when we come back in. And then you get to do either the quest or the two actions on the tiles next to. You don't have to do both, and you can choose the order in which you take them. Alternatively, if you have a travel resource, you can spend that to bring the merchant along. So the merchant comes over and lands in a space next to you, next to where you end your movement, and then you can do his action instead of the one that you just had there. And the merchant is very simple. You get 2 resources, and all other players gain one of their choice. One of the chosen resources. For solo, obviously there's no other players, so that doesn't really have effect here. And then on subsequent turns, in the multiplayer game, you would move your worker and then do the actions. And it could be within the same village, or it could be traveling from place to place or to the quest. Whenever you pass one of these, I guess it's not quite food, it's like a travel action good, you're like packing up a lunch to take on the road with you. You would pay that cost of moving past it. And if you land in a village where there are already other players, you would have to give them each a resource of your choice, one of the basic resources. And before when you move in there. And then from then on, you can always still move within that village without any additional costs. So for solo, I still have to follow the same guidelines. And I'm going to go ahead and start my first turn, and you'll kind of see how what I do interacts with this complicated board, which you might recognize from Glass Road. So seeing as I'm pretty much always the red player, I'm going to go ahead and start with that. I might look at maybe my initial strategy. Maybe I'll aim for one of these fancy buildings. I've never had the thermal baths before. It needs lots of glass, needs some water locations, some lakes. So maybe I will go ahead and do that. I don't have a whole lot of resources to build. I have no animals. I can get more lakes here. So that might be a good time. I have no... Let's see, if I want cows, I could go get... No, I can't get cows because I don't have glass. So I think we're going to have to take it a little step further back and maybe do some clear cutting. Let's see, pigs are always good. I have wood, coal. Yeah, let's jump in over here. So first position, I can take a pig. So pigs can live in the forest here. Later on, if you have an actual farm field, you can store 3 pigs or 3 cows in the farm field. Right now, I can just have 1 pig per forest. So he's just going to hang out down there. And then I'm going to spend a wood. So now let's take a quick look at the resource tracks here. And these boards are a little bit warped, so I'll tell you that. We have each resource track is kind of split into what's between 2 of these hands of the clock sort of thing. And these are stuck. They move together. I don't know if you can see that in the camera there. And then you have the more expensive, more difficult to get resources like glass on the other side. So in this case, I'll spend a wood, and you see the numbers in the interior. So right now, the wood token is at the 3 position. So I'll spend a wood by moving it back to 2. And I gain 4 coal. So because it is a single unit, I cannot split it up. I have to put it on. A coal has a location, a token on each of the resource dials, so I have to assign it to one of them. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I have 5 coal in this dial, 2 in this one, and nothing moves. Now, theoretically, if I were to then get some more sand, see if I got 1 sand here, this leaves a gap, which would mean that the dial would automatically spin immediately to close the gap. You do not get to choose that, it just happens. But it automatically produces glass, because I guess artisans in the Black Forest are very, very much love their glass making and will immediately consume anything that is possible to make glass. That is, I guess, their goal in life. Just like mine is to play board games, theirs is to create glass. So there are my 2 actions there. Off to a good start. Now that I've got some coal, maybe I want to go do a building or something. I can also expand my farm fields. So let's move on, and let's take the next action on the side here, and let's grab another pig, because I got more force. Pigs are cute little guys. I'll stick them over here. And now I have the option to either advance my glassmaker hut token, which is this little thing here, and I'll pick it up so you can see it better. So there's a little glass bead, whoops, sliding around on the hut here. Once it reaches the top, oops, I will immediately gain a expansion board and put it on the side and then fill the corresponding spots. Each expansion board is worth 2 points and has a built-in spot to place some cows. So that could be one option, is expanding. Or I can build. I don't think there's a whole lot I can build right now. I would love to move sand or porridge so I can have access to some stuff. If I want sand, I have some bricks. I have no porridge. So this one's kind of out of luck. And I have nothing for that. So maybe in order to get some glass, I could have a glass furnace and just advance my glass hut. So, that's the mixture of stuff here. I don't really have the meat for it either. I still want the sand. So maybe we'll go get sand the traditional way. And for now, I'll just advance the glass hut. Time for another worker placement. I think I might be done in this area here. Unless I really want more coal. I could get 2 resources, my choice. Maybe that's a good idea. I'll go get a wood. So I'm only down to 1 wood. 4 coal, I'll put it on the other dial. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll take 2 resources of my choice from the merchant. And I think in this case, I think I will be the sand. So 1, 2. And this rotates 1 automatically. Now I have 1 glass, and I'm down to no wood and a 1 sand. Okay, and time to travel. Let's move, because I think we're done here for now. Unless I want to build. I mostly have coal. I don't have much of anything else right now. So let's travel. So we'll pay a provision, and I think we'll move this one down here. You'll see that there are point values, and so the more you produce and use provisions, because it could get stuck on the other end, the more you produce and move, this hand will be worth points at the end of the game if we get to travel around. And we'll come over here, and we'll go on this side, and I'm going to eat one of my pigs. Yum, 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 yum. Some bacon for 2 meat. And then the other action is, I got some bricks. I'll spend a brick, and I'll take a water tile. And put it, let's plop it in there. Don't really have any particular reason yet to put those in. I don't think there's any. This will let me fill my estate with stuff. There's nothing really scores per water tile. So I think we're going to just stop it there. I could have taken the other option of getting water per water tile, and maybe I will do that next. I do have another pig, though. Do I have enough to build? If I get some water, do I have enough to make anything? Could still use some porridge. 5 wood, not going to happen. A glass, a brick, and a wood. I need wood for that. 3 different resources. Spend 3 different resources for 5. So let's look at what some of these buildings do right now. The beige color ones are immediate. It's a one-time bonus. You buy the building, you place the building, you get the thing. Blue is a conversion. It gives you a free action that you can always spend the thing on the left to get things on the right. And the red ones aren't all the time. So it's like whenever you go and do this thing, you get another thing. Pretty simple. And then, of course, we want stars, which is points at the end of the game. I still really want porridge. I still don't see a good place to get porridge. Don't really want to bring the glass maker over. I mean, the merchant over. I could come over here and get porridge. You know, that's probably my best bet here. So I'm going to spend another provision and travel over here. And we're going to spend a forest tile. So we're going to essentially clear cut the forest. Oops. We'll move my, we'll take this one over here. So clear cut the forest to gain 4 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, which immediately produces me a glass. And then per wheat field, we'll make 2 porridge, or for 2, 4, or 6 water, I will get 1, 2, or 3 meat. So I only get 1 meat for that. I need the porridge, so let's go ahead and take 2 porridge. 1, 2. We are merely going to go rotate again. And we've hit the reminder marker. So normally, whenever the dial hits this little reminder token in a multiplayer game, you would then put out, for the first time, I believe it is for each player, so for each player that hits it, you put out 2 quests. For solo, you put out 3 quests, and then you just will always have 3 available. So these are randomized, and we'll place them based on the location where the thing can be found. So we have a axe. Now I look at the little symbols inside the buildings here. So here's the axes right there. We have a little hut over here. And we have, so it looks like a broom. The broom is going to go over here. Okay, so there are a couple different types of quests. There's ones that you have to travel out to, and they're their own location, or ones you can do from within town, and you just don't move, and you take that as your main action. And they usually offer some great rewards at great costs. For example, this one that just came out is remove 3 forests, which I don't have 3 anymore. I could have done that. You get 5 wood, 4 meat, and the cow. So it's a big, massive conversion at once. We have a 7 coal, which I do have in 7. I do have 7 coal for 4 brick, 4 wood, a glass, a cow, and a pig. That's pretty tasty. And then we have 5 animals for a whole bunch of things. Juicy. Okay, that is the round because I've used all 5 of my workers. So normally you would just keep kind of rotating around, but instead we are going to pick up all 5 of my workers and move the cuckoo clock. So we're 1/5 of the way through the game. I don't have that forest tile anymore. I do have the 7 coal. I could hold 4 wood and a glass and the animals. I kind of like the idea of that. So let's go in here and... Oh, am I going to run out of space to put animals? Don't be fine. Oh, no, I will run out of space to put animals. I need some more forest locations, maybe? Or maybe I'll go over here and do that. So I get a cow, get another cow. That's maybe too many cows. Could remove a forest thing to build. Get a wood. All I have is a wooden cove right now. And a little bit of brick. Which none of the buildings really use coal, so that's less useful. I do want one of these things though, so I'm going to spend the wood, get one of these barn tiles here, and let's maybe stick it over here, and then I get a cow, and I got lots of room for cows. I'm gonna put them over here. All right, now it's time to move. So pay a provision. And we're going to come over here and do this one. So it is a sand per water tile. So 1, 2, 3. And then I spend... Oh, I can't spend the water. I don't have the water. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I should have done the merchant instead. I don't think I have to place a new worker for a quest in solo. The merchant. Nope. No, it doesn't say. Okay, it's only place upon a different village. Okay. All right, in that case, so let's take the provision back, and we're going to place here, get another animal storage location. I think, unless I want a wheat field. I'm able to get lots of animals. Let's store them temporarily. And then we're going to use the merchant. And we're going to bring the merchant over here. And we're going to say, hey, Mr. Merchant, I need a couple of water. 2. Great. Now we spend that provision that I've been holding on to. Skip over here. And I'm about to lose stuff. I'm about to lose my coal. I gotta be careful with this then. Because if I get sand, I lose my coal. So I still doesn't think it says. So when you're claiming one of these gold things in solo, you just do it. Yeah, I do 5 points of job location. Yeah. Usual travel costs. Yeah, it doesn't actually specifically say. Okay, that's fine. So we'll just gotta do it then. I need the 7. I need the 7 coal. I don't have the animals yet. Good. Maybe I'm just gonna come over here and just hit this up again. Get more cows, since I got so much space for cows. Use a merchant again. And this time I need to get 2 coal. Otherwise I won't have enough coal. Okay, now I can finally use provision. Come over here. Get a sand per lake, so it's 3. 1, 2, 3. This rotates by only 1 because the glass is stuck there. I still have 7 coal. And now I'm going to spend that water and brick for 2 animals. All right. Now I can spend the 7 coal because now I'm going to do this action. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this gives us 4 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 brick. 1, 2, 3, 4. A glass, which I can't actually take right now, and a cow and a pig. So I got lots of animals. And new one comes out immediately, and find the symbol. These 2 provisions. Unless I have to move. You know what? Maybe it's not in the solo. Maybe I got it wrong. You're supposed to complete a job. If you're in a village of a job, instead of visiting a trace... Oh, you know what? I think it's you do have to place the thing. So I'll just place over here and do the job instead. So there we go. That is done. Big job. Got lots of things. And that makes a little more sense. It still costs something to do the job. On to the next round. 3. Pick up only people. And so nice I don't have to move guys around. I can just jump straight into that job. I've got 5 animals. And I've got room for most of these things. I will top out on bricks. Maybe I should spend some bricks and some wood first. That might be a good idea. So, and coal. I can make a distillery. Whenever you visit the site trace person, spend 2 water to visit any trace person as a second. Okay. I have glass. I can do the glass blower. Oh, can I make the thermal baths yet? 3. I have 3. I have 3 wood. I only have 1 coal. I have 1. You know what? I'll just get some coal. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to come over here. We're going to spend the wood for 4 coal. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to clear off this area over here, the forest, and gain the wood. And then we're going to build it. I mean, I know it doesn't further my engine, but it's pretty good. So 3 glass, 1, 2, 3 wood, 1, 2, 3 coal, and 2 lakes. And we're going to fill that guy in right there. Lots of points, real nice. Now it is time to travel. Is there anything else I want to do while I'm here? Probably not. A pig? I could get more pigs. No, what I need is forage and stuff. So it would cost me 1, 2 provision to move over here. Turn in 5 animals. So 2, 3, 4, 5. I think getting rid of my pigs is probably the best thing to do. And now I'm going to get a load of stuff. So 1, 2, 3 coal. 1, 2, 3 coal. Max on bricks. 1, 2, 3 sand. 3 forge. 1, 2, 3 forge. Advance that. 3 wood. 1, 2, 3. 3 meat. 1, 2, 3. And 3 water. 1, 2, 3. And we produce a whole bunch more glass. Back up to max glass. Very nice. All right, now we have... Where's he going to go? There we go. The big town. 7 brick. Oh, I have 7 brick. Ooh. I would need to use up some glass between now and then. It's probably doable. Okay. Come over here. Get the piggyback. We're gonna build. I got glass, I got wood. I got lots of glass. Oh, can I build another one of these? 3. No, I use too much brick. I need all my bricks. Don't want to spend bricks. I could build What else do I need right now? Provision water. So somebody uses water. Wood for water. It uses bricks. The manor. Convert things now. It uses all bricks. Bricks. 3 wood. I don't have 3 wood. I have the meat. Guild hall. If 1 glass and 3. Oh, which I have. Yes. Okay. So building the guild hall. It cost me 2 glass and 2 wood and 2 meat. And now, so as an immediate action. So if I have a glass, which I have a glass, and 3 provision, which is I do, I go up 3 times on the hut track. So 1, 2, and then we expand. Get a couple more forests, and then free up some more room for animals. Come back here, and then 3. So that get me a couple points. That was pretty good. The gold halls also were 4 points as well. Very nice. I still have my 7 bricks too. So let's spend a provision, increase that, and go traveling down into the city here. Spend all 7 bricks, which is a lot, frankly, to get 3 coal. Let's go over here. 1, 2, 3 coal. 3 meat. 1, 2, 3. Cannot advance because it's stuck. 3 water. 1, 2, 3. And then 1 glass and 2 farm fields. So now I've got lots of farm fields. That's probably good now. I could go back. I could build again. Oh, twice double build. I have no wood though. I have no wood and no bricks. Probably a bad idea. I could go get a ton of porridge. So it'd be 1, 2, 3 provisions to come over here. So let's do 3 provisions. 1, 2, 3. And we will remove one of these forest tiles to gain 4 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which produces a glass. And then, now I have 4 wheat fields, I get 4 porridge. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing. Okay, that is the end of round 3. I'm doing pretty good, I think. And we'll come down to the final score and we'll see. So remove these. Now for the 4th round, since it's a solo, we re-randomize all of the locations. Normally, you would just kind of play the game for multiplayer, but things change up pretty drastically for solo, which is pretty nice. Just adds a little bit more to the puzzle. I also have to remove that quest location and add in the mountain pass. 7 porridge. Oh, I've got 5. That might be something useful to go to. So let's randomize these a bit. And I like to go around the circle here. So, oops, deer, fox, owl, mouse, fox, deer, owl, deer, owl, deer, owl, deer, owl, fox, mouse, fox, and deer. Okay, so we changed things up. I only got 2 rounds left. What am I doing now? Point per... I only have 1 expansion tile, so that's probably not my strategy I want to go for. What do I want for points? Other players. There's no other players. Pay no resources to others when entering a village. Is there an exception for fort, for solo? So this is the small buildings, 35A. In a two-player, and solo play is X is 1. So 1 brick. Or glass, a brick, and a wood. Pay no resources to others when entering a village. I mean, that's pretty good. Village church per empty space in this estate. So I would need to expand and then clear it. Which is a possibility. That might be interesting to do. I don't have the glass for... Oh, no, I have the glass. I have 3 glass. What am I talking about? I have no bricks. How do I lay some bricks? Coal for 4. And need some pigs. Or get more porridge. I got lots of porridge. Where can I use a porridge first? Per cow, get a porridge. No. I can use porridge and water over there. Oh, is there a porridge thing? There's a porridge thing. So maybe I'll max out my porridge and then go deliver porridge. I feel like that's probably a good idea. So I need more coal. I need more bricks. So let's go over here. Spend a coal. Get 4 bricks. And then get 4 porridge. And we're just going to hit the max. And then we're going to travel 2 provisions. 1, 2 provisions. And go into the mountains here and spend 7 porridge, all the way back down to 0. Oh my god, I don't need a glass. You know what I want to build first? Get rid of that. Get rid of that glass. But before I build, I need to expand. Before I expand, I can do other stuff. This is a conundrum. I want to move up the glass track. So 1, 2. Maybe we'll come over here. That's a double move. I can do a single move. Probably the best there. So 1, 2, 3. Move twice up the glass track, and that gives me another estate. And 2 forests. And then per water, I get a sand. Okay, whatever. I get 1. All right, now I gotta spend my glass. I don't have the bricks. I don't have any more bricks. This is an endless circle of stuff. All right, we're going back. Wait, did I spend I did not spend my 2 provision. Okay, let's get some wood. So we'll go here. Lose 1 of these forest tiles. Get 4 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to spend 1 of these guys, the merchants, to bring, where is he? The merchant over here, which immediately produces here. And the merchant will give me something. Bricks. 1, 2. I need the bricks back. Excellent. Now I need to go back. Oh, hold on. Hold on. No. Okay, hold on. Backtrack. 2 back. Take that. We're not summoning him. Hold the horses. Put everything back. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Instead, I'm just going to go up here because I don't need to go there. I'm going to do the quest and turn in 3 forests for 5 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit the max. 4 meats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the max. And a cow. Because that clears them off even better. Let's see, is it the butcher? This knife thingy goes over here. So now that I've got it cleared, now I need to build my village church. Now I've got a nice open board here. So best place to build, maybe back over here. There's a build location there. I still have my 7 porridge, so I can still go over and do that. I could lose another. I don't want to lose another forest here. I think that's probably my. Oh, I'm already there. I don't have the provision to travel anyways. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, spend the merchant. It's gonna rotate. This time we're taking this guy out. And we're going to build. And we've got 1, 2 glass. Sorry, the merchant is going to need the 2 bricks. Spend the 3 bricks. And then 2 wood. And then we have the village church, which is 4 points, and gives me per adjacent empty space on this estate. So estate is just one little thing. It's adjacent empty space. So there's only really max 3 anyways, unless it was your home board. So this is 7 points now, which is pretty decent. I think that's the best place I can put it. Okay, now I have one more action to do. Maybe it's time to head into the woods and get my stuff. Yeah, let's do that. So 1, 2. No, I'm going to be stuck in the woods. I have no more provision. Oh no, but we're recalling. No problem. Okay. 1, 2. We're going into the mountains, and now we're gonna. Oh, I don't have the 7 I don't have the 7 porridge anymore. To rotate it. Oh, the puzzle. I tell you. We need to get more porridge. Spend porridge for animals. Animals is points. Okay. All right. Do I have water? I do have water. So we are going to spend a porridge and a water to get a cow and a pig, because they're all worth points per animal. And then I'm going to get 2 porridge from the merchant. All right, okay, got figured out. I'm just backtracking, but we're all set. Last round. You got to maximize things here. We're just going to go straight into the mountains, spend the 7 porridge, and that gives us 1 glass, gives us a forest tile back, and gives us 3 pigs. 1, 2, 3. It gives us a water and a barn. So that actually the barn could hold some pigs. These give me a point per animal that are in them. So that's I want to fill those up. Alright, that one is done. And well, we're on this side of the forest, which is not connected. There's no line here. Don't have 5 water anyways, so it's not like it matters. I would love to go get some more. So let's spend on provision. And we're going to move in here. Get another cow. Should probably think about... You know what? Maybe I'll get a cow. I think I might do some building. It's like I got glass and stuff. So we'll remove the open land. Pay a wood. Oh, sorry, no, gain the wood. And we're going to build. I've got lots of wood, not a lot of brick, meaning no brick, and some glass. Glass and wood. Breeding station for each 1 to 4 livestock pairs. one matching for 1 to 4 livestock pairs. Ooh. Okay, let's switch things over here. So I'm going to get this one first before I start placing stuff. Okay, so we're going to build the breeding station for 2 glass and 1, 2, 3 woods. Okay, so it says for 1 to 4 livestock pairs. So basically 4 different pairs can breed. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can get 2 cows, 2 pigs. 1, 2, and then put the cows over here. Because that gave me a few extra points. That's actually worked out pretty well. Okay. I'm at 5 points here. It'd be nice to move that some more. Glass is not giving me much right now. Is it worth working for one of these? Probably for 1, 2 points. We need to get lots of glass, lots of brick. And I have 3 actions left. So it's probably not going to happen. Do I have 3 quests out? 1, 2, 3, yes. Water quest is not helpful. Travel quest, not so much. Meat quest. I want to go on a meat quest. Yeah. Spend a provision. Come over here, and which one do we go on here? Move over this one. And go on a meat quest. Spend 5 meat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yum, yum, yum. 5 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 porridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that rotates. And then 3 provision. 1, 2, 3. And 4 coal. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done a lot of those this game. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Money bags. 3 fields to get. Ooh, I like it. I got 2 actions left. I could slaughter for grass. I'd lose a point, gain some points. Yeah, I think so. We're going to come over here. We're going to slaughter a pig for 2 meat. 1, 2. Then we're going to pay the merchant to switch over here and get us 2 water. 1, 2. 1. Fine. And then for my last action, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go and do this quest. So remove 3 farm fields. Get 2 animal pens. And 2 pigs, 2 cows. So that actually puts all my animals in pens. That actually works out really nicely. Okay, time for final scoring. There is... I thought there was a score pad. No, there's no score pad. Unfortunately. There I should have had a score pad with this game. But there is a side of the board where you can flip over to do the scoring. Now, that is kind of a pain because all the resources are nicely laid out. And I don't think I want to flip over. I guess I will for the sake of the video. Try to keep things together here. And we're going to go into scoring. Okay. Final scoring. a point per glass. So that is 2 points for me. And then we have 2 points per expansion. So that is 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 point per animal on an animal pen. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 15, 16. And then on buildings and endgame stuff. So I don't have any endgame lantern scores, but I do have a bunch of buildings worth points. Also, the commodity here. All right. Let's see here. So we have 10, 13, 17, 21. Oh, I do have a lantern. So 21. So 3, 20, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I actually forgot this lantern. So this is a per adjacent empty space in this estate, which again, estates are just these little sideboards. So it's just 3 points. 1, 2, 3. It's still 7-point tiles, so pretty nice. And then lastly, we get this dial here, which is just 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is a final score of 52. And I should have given you some for these quest things, but we'll see how I did in the back. 52 is Master Builder. Okay, it's the kind of the middle of the pack, not the highest, not the Glasslet Master or the Duchess, but Master Builder's not bad. All right, let's head back up, and we'll go over my review. I don't think I've missed anything. No. Okay, let's begin the review. So before we get into an in-depth review, if you're coming from Glass Road, which is an older game, that is a very similar resource track. You did not have this like merchant ability to be able for traveling and moving on the map. Instead, bricks was over in the other dial. So you were working on getting glass and bricks, which were kind of the two main resources you need for a lot of the buildings. So here instead, we have to worry about actually traveling around, generating those. But there's also points on this wheel, so that's a big trade-off there. The buildings are very similar in terms of how they work. The more water you have, the more fields you have. They give you, I guess it's not sand, it's wheat. I'm calling it sand because, or it's probably flour. Oh no, it is sand because it's from water. Anyways, they were sand pits and things in the other game that you had. Only a very, very, very small amount of adjacency, so the actual physical placement doesn't matter a whole deal, and it mattered maybe a tiny bit more in Glass Road. So I think that's really missing from this one. and you weren't able to expand your board either in Glass Road. And instead of the moving around placement, you had a card-driven mechanism that was very overwrought, and you essentially pre-selected your cards from the round, and then you would take turns playing a card, and if you were the only one with that card, you would get both actions, but if anyone else had that card, then you would kind of all drop that card and get the single action instead of both. So it was a weird kind of way of doing it. It still worked out well, still a great game. Slightly faster than this one, slightly faster to set up. So it was still a good game. You can see my review on this channel if you want to get a closer look. But we're coming down to here. So let's get into the main review of Glass Road. First, physical components. The boards, especially the wheels, are warped. They all came quite warped, which is unfortunate. You can kind of bend them back into place a little bit. It's not ideal. They still kind of like wobble and are a little warped. It's not a massive deal breaker. They're not so big that things are sliding on them. But it's if you bump it because it's got a raised edge, you might mess up your game a little bit. So just be careful with that. And I'm hoping newer editions won't have that issue either. The art, I really like the art here. Not so much in the box cover, but the art on the board, the, what's his name? The artist here, Lucas Siegman, and the graphic design also by Christoph Tisch. I feel like they really captured classic Uwe Rosenberg, Clemens Franz artwork. So a lot of the other games by Uwe Rosenberg uses an artist by the name of Clemens Franz, who was really good at like these little people and like little sceneries and things like that. And I feel like this is a more modern take on that, and with some like nicer artwork on locations. The forest and stuff looks a little more, the world looks a little more dynamic. It's a little better put together, but they still squeeze in the cute little things on the tiles, and there's always little Easter eggs of stuff happening on on the tiles, which are all nice to look at. When you look at them really closely, it starts to fall apart a little bit, but from back a little, they really are beautiful and they're good to look at, and I think it's well done, but also very functional. The graphic design is very clear. You can you never have to go look up the rulebook to see what things mean or do, because it's all very well explained, or very visually explained in a visual language through iconography what things do. And I think that is a really great strength of this, as well as some of the other Uwe Rosenberg games, is why they come out so often. It's because you'd almost never forget how to play them, because the iconography is so simple. You just need to remember a little bit of the basic flow, and the game pretty much explains itself. It's really that clean, and also there's no really complicated interactions either, so that kind of lends itself towards it. Graphic design, everything is it's all clean. Having to flip the board for scoring is a little bit annoying. I wish they had a separate track or went around the outside or something. Fine, whatever. It's only scoring at the end, so it's not a big deal. So here's the other physical thing. I recommend you make yourself a little box to put the tiles in. There is like 36 different small tiles, and setting those out in order is the longest, the biggest ordeal in the game, unless you have them sorted. So if you just pick them up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and stack them and then put them in a little box, it keeps them in order. And then when you go to play the game, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it's very simple to put things away and to set up afterwards. If you don't do that, if you throw them in the bag, they're just, I dump them out. It's going to be a mess to have to put everything back where it's supposed to go. And while these little building holders are not super necessary, it's nice to be able to explain, to give people a visual indication of what they might be trying to go for or get. All right, so the theme, obviously this is a resource conversion game. I guess the theme is you're going from village to village, collecting the things you need to produce glass. It's a bit of like you are kind of are the merchant, and you're going from store to store. So that, kind of works. And then there's these bigger quests, like some festival or like the castle or the big city needs, you get a bigger job to go deliver those things there. All that kind of works and makes sense. The theme is not incredibly strong, but the thing is, they do make sense. The buildings do lend themselves to what they are, right? Like the thermal baths are going to consume a bunch of water because you're doing now turn them into baths. The reservoir gives you points per water. The castle hotel, gives you points for the landscape around it. There's things that kind of make sense in terms of the naming and what they do. So there's some thematic connections there, but you have to look a little deeper into those underlying mechanisms in order to really kind of feel the theme too. All right, in terms of how it looks, the looks lent into the theme really well, which is great. Player interaction. So player interaction here is a very interesting mixture of both positive and negative interaction. Negative in the sense that, you are literally blocking combinations that people might want. And it happens more than you think in a 3-4 player game, than you would realize, because you are constantly moving around. You're not always in the way, but a lot of times you'll think, oh no, I really wanted that exact pair. But if you have some of that merchant resource, you can call him in and at least make use of an action that maybe a location you maybe couldn't use possibly. It allows you to switch things around a little bit, because you can not only call him in, but you can bring, if you're next to merchant, you can bring in a location essentially and move him somewhere and bring in whatever you want. So there's some good interactions there with the game. And of course, whenever you use the merchant, everybody else gets a resource of that type, which you can always look around and see who's full on things, but generally that's very positive. You're giving everybody resources. When you enter a town where other people are, you're giving them resources, which is kind of a negative because it's a payment, but other players will enjoy getting stuff from you. So there is interconnectivity, and it does matter. You are racing for some of the objectives. Buildings. There's not multiples of buildings, so you're racing for the buildings. So even though it is not a mean game, there is still a fair amount of interaction, which is quite nice. So in terms of the complexity, as I mentioned a little bit before, because of the flow of the game is very simple and things kind of work themselves, the complexity of the rules is actually fairly low, but there is a lot of buildings and a lot of, while the iconography is simple, there's just a huge wash of it, of possibilities. So the complexity of the overhead is quite large, but you could teach the game and move on with it in a very short amount of time, and then let people kind of figure things out. If you try to break it down, it'll be better that way. The mechanisms are interwoven very well in terms of the bigger conversions, the buildings and things. Each building is double-sided, and you only flip 10 of them per game. So you are going to get some good mixtures of stuff in there each time. And there's a good sampling all the time of, that classic instant bonuses, free actions, and upgrade type stuff, which is always which is very cool. And then we have tactical and strategic ramifications. The game does have a good mixture of both. There's some long-term strategic options, because you are looking at some of the bigger point scoring buildings, and try to aiming towards some of those things, aiming towards moving your wheels. So you do have to think those few turns ahead to get to those. But there's a decent amount of tactical, you're there? Okay, I'll move over here now and take this one instead. Or, this thing came out, I'm going to jump on that now while I still can. So it's a good mixture of that. The game will lend itself well to planning a few turns ahead, especially if you want to advance those wheels to get the things you need. And that is kind of the main puzzle of the game. In terms of luck, there is a tiny bit of luck in the quests, or in the random setup of the buildings, but generally it's very low luck, which some people will like, and there's a fair amount of flexibility in how you want to get things done if the layouts are not quite what you want. Gameplay length is also quite good if you use the box trick for 7 teardown. A solo gameplay is pretty breezy, and it's good decisions constantly. And while the box is a standard, maybe slightly thicker than a Ticket to Ride size standard Kallax box, things are, if you sort things properly in bags or containers and whatnot, you can get to the table pretty quickly and get a good feel of it. Now, this has, I don't know if I had in my list last year or not, but this has quickly grown into one of my favorite Uwe Rosenberg games. I really love this wheel. It's going to get a high recommendation from me. Of course, it's not going to be quite at the greats of the Feast for Odin or the tightness and of Agricola, things like that. But for me, it's replaced Glass Road. As some people might like the speediness of Glass Road, but I feel like there's more here. It's a big box feel game. And I think this is just a absolute fantastic combination of his resource and the movement. It just makes my brain sing every time I play this, both solo and multiplayer. And it is a high recommendation for me, especially if you like Uwe Rosenberg games or worker placement with a twist, resource management games. Go check it out. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, because it's been just great fun for me. And I hope you have a good time with that as well. Until next time, we'll see you later.